The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you on this Monday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. 4 fires broke out in Riverside County over the weekend. The biggest blaze, the Rabbit Fire, has burned more than 7,000 acres so far. It's 25% contained as of this morning. These fires are forcing several evacuations. There are no reports of injuries, however, but crews are working in those very hot, dry conditions, and they expect a busy week ahead battling these fires.
And the brutal heat wave here in the west, it's also hitting the south. They all hit new highs over the weekend, and there is no relief expected in the coming days. Marissa Parra has the latest from Phoenix, where locals just felt record-breaking temperatures.
In California, the heat compounded by flames, with a 4th wildfire now threatening homes near Los Angeles and prompting evacuation warnings.
If it gets any worse, starts coming back this way, I got to figure out what to do.
The seemingly endless heat wave getting even hotter. Las Vegas pushing towards new record highs. In Miami, an excessive heat warning, a real feel of 105, just as thousands pack in for soccer star Lionel Messi. Phoenix breaking a record, hitting 118 degrees. Now on day 17 of temps at or over 110.
These temps today are going to be absolutely outrageous. We do not want anybody having heat stroke.
Volunteer Monique Hebert is providing a lifeline to those in need.
Water, food, cool ties. Let's get him that. I'm taking the dog up for some AC and shoes.
Bringing supplies to the city's most vulnerable.
It's all right, honey. We got you.
And their pets.
Don't bite me. Trust me, I'm doing this for your own good.
Emergency crews there responding to calls with heat always on the mind.
Have you been drinking plenty of water? This is one of the hottest summers that we've had in recent years, and so yeah, it's taken a toll on the community for sure.
Meantime, it has been a busy, often tragic summer for search and rescue crews who pulled another body out of the Kern River over the weekend. They found the body of a 38-year-old man near Hart Park yesterday afternoon. Crews say that man was with his family at the park, and he was last seen entering the river. However, while the crews were on the scene searching for that man, they were called to another rescue mission at the east end of the park near the soccer fields. That person was saved, pulled from the water, and treated by paramedics. This month alone, there have already been at least 10 people rescued from the Kern River. Crews say they were staging at the park because they feared reckless visitors would enter the river to try and beat the heat, which hit 110 degrees.
Turning to a traffic alert now, when CalTrans is issuing an emergency shutdown of State Route 155. This is between Glenville and Wofford Heights. This has become a common occurrence since all of the heavy rain that we saw this winter and spring. The road is partially open right now, but in about 3 hours, crews are going to shut down the road in both directions to make those necessary repairs. CalTrans says construction is expected to last about a week.
So let's talk about news around the nation now. And 6 months out from the Iowa caucus, we're getting a look at the financial health of presidential candidates. While the frontrunners show off their second quarter hauls, lesser-known candidates are getting creative to meet fundraising requirements for the first Republican debate next month. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Capitol Hill.
With the Iowa caucus now just 6 months away, new fundraising numbers are offering a critical look at how the candidates are performing. Second quarter fundraising totals show President Biden raking in $72 million, the first quarterly look since he announced his re-election campaign. Compare that to $35 million for former President Trump and $20 million for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Over the weekend, the former president taking aim at DeSantis.
He's dropping so quickly, he's probably not going to be in second place much longer.
Governor DeSantis looking to quiet concerns that he's not gaining enough traction, pointing to feedback from Iowa voters.
Now that I seen you, I'm for you. And so that's going to be what we're going to do over the next 6 months.
Lesser-known candidates are focused on meeting requirements to join the first Republican debate next month. Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy letting supporters who raise money for him keep a 10% commission of what they bring in. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is offering $20 gift cards in exchange for donations of $1 or more, while Miami Mayor Francis Suarez is raffling off a front row seat to donors to see soccer legend Lionel Messi's Miami debut.
I'm not going to get on the debate stage. I'm not going to have an opportunity to keep having this conversation unless I have your support in the form of that contribution.
The GOP frontrunner, former President Trump, threatening to skip the first debate, already looking ahead to taking on President Biden. In order to make the debate stage next month, Republican candidates have to secure 40,000 unique donors, in addition to polling requirements and a commitment to support the eventual GOP nominee. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Temperatures soared well into the triple digits over the weekend, and some residents here in Bakersfield were left to battle most of it without power. 17's Aaliyah Fitzgerald is in Southwest Bakersfield with more on this power outage. Good morning, Aaliyah. Looks like there's some good news here.
Good morning, Alex, and you're right, there is some good news concerning the power is back on. However, do keep in mind at the temperature of 104, the body starts to shut down, and that's exactly what happened in this neighborhood over the weekend. Go ahead and take a look.
Yesterday, Bakersfield reached a high of 110, making this past weekend one of the hottest weekends this year thus far. Without proper cooling conditions, the heat can be unbearable. For this Southwest Bakersfield neighborhood, they've had no choice but to endure the heat, as their power has been out all weekend with no solid time frame as to when their electricity will return.
The main thing is that when you log on to the PG&E website to get updates on it, they keep giving you a time that's a couple hours away, and then once that threshold is met 2 hours later, they push that time back, they push that time back, they push that time back. And it's horrible. I mean, you can't be in your house.
When it first went out, they kept sending us text messages saying that it would be restored in 4 hours, be restored in 4 hours. And then after a while, they stopped giving us text messages. I think about 6 or 7 o'clock they stopped, and we still didn't have any power. So we called them, and they said that there was no outage here.
Food losses are high.
Every day, all the meat is go back. All the meat.
We put ice bags in our refrigerator, but I think we're going to probably lose everything we got.
For those that were equipped with power generators, they could seemingly power through the heat. However, others have had to resort to getting cool in their car and wetting their pavement with cold water so that their animals could have a fighting chance.
Now, though the power is back on, that doesn't negate all the money that was wasted on all that food going to waste. In Southwest Bakersfield, Aaliyah Fitzgerald.
Turning to your 17 Court Watch now, and 2 people arrested in Mexico in connection to a Bakersfield homicide 4 years ago are expected to appear in court later this afternoon. Abraham Lopez and Missy Medina were taken into custody last week. They are being charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of Victor Dominguez. Dominguez was shot back in 2019 on Raymond A. Spruan's court, a couple blocks off Panama Lane. They are being held without bail.
A Kern County Sheriff's deputy had a blood alcohol content nearly twice the legal limit when he was found passed out behind the wheel of a marked patrol car last month. That deputy, Joseph Garcia, was also covered in fast food from Jack in the Box. That's according to newly released court records obtained by 17 News. Garcia was found early the morning of June 7th on Liverpool Way near White Lane. The 34-year-old was charged with 2 counts of misdemeanor DUI. Court documents say Garcia told police he didn't remember buying the food and couldn't remember how he ended up in the intersection.
Actors and writers are set to protest again this week. Hollywood has been effectively shut down. For the first time in 63 years, Hollywood actors and writers are on the picket lines together as a sign of unity against major studios. Union members striking say enough is enough. They're demanding residual pay for their films and shows on streaming services, and are asking for safeguards around the use of artificial intelligence. They say without those safeguards in place, their artistry and income is in jeopardy.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.